Okay, as the Boilermakers make their way on the dais here, just want to remind you we'll ask for some opening comments from Coach, and then we'll go to questions for the student athletes first, and then we'll let those guys go, and then we'll come back to Coach for some more questions. So, Coach, congratulations.
Thank you. Man, that was obviously a great game, and proud of our guys. You knew if you watch Tennessee on film, they have unbelievable runs. And we were very fortunate to be up 12 at the half just because they were 4 for 13 from the free throw line. But the free throws ended up balancing out. Both teams really shot 50% from three and 50% from the free throw line. It's kind of an odd box score because normally you get people that can make that many threes are normally going to make their free throws. But both teams struggled in that area. But, we shot the three well. They shot the three well. It seemed like a stretch in the game in the second half. We couldn't stop them and we couldn't get a rebound. But then when you look at the box score, we out-rebounded them for the game. But they're a good team. They have those interchangeable pieces, with Schofield and Williams, and they cause a lot of problems. And those guards are athletic and talented, and they can shoot the basketball and they can create shots for themselves. And our guys hung in there. It was one of those games where getting key stops was important, and I know it was a high-scoring game, but it was tough to get them. And I thought at the very end, especially in overtime, we got some key loose balls, long rebounds, and it ended up being the difference in the game. But just proud of our guys, and they made that run, and Carson got to the basket a couple times. Ryan made about 3 or 4 really tough shots, and that was important because they were on a roll, and they're trying to put us away and get the game to 2 possessions. And it's such a different game when you lead by 17 and somebody can take the lead and get it to 2 possessions. And they never really were able to get to that point where it's 4 or 5 points. And we managed it and made a couple tough shots and were able to get the game into overtime. Carson knocked down those 2 free throws to get it into overtime. And that was huge. And our guys were very resilient and played very hard and pulled out the victory.
Thank you, Coach. Questions for Carson and Ryan here. Back row to my right.
For Ryan, this is Pat Forty from Yahoo Sports. Obviously, you're a shooter. You've had some great shooting games, but have you had one like this in a setting like this?
I would say no. There are times in the second half where, I was coming off and I knew I was going to shoot it. So my teammates did a really good job of, getting me open and giving me the opportunity.
More questions for the Purdue student athletes right here in the right side, center aisle.
Carson, when Tennessee was making that run there in the second half, what was going through your mind, and how were you guys able to weather that and force overtime?
Obviously, like when you're going through that run and they get the lead, you're just thinking like, well, I want to win, obviously. But I just kept thinking we just got to keep getting stopped. Try to get some stops and then get to the foul line or something, even though we weren't able to make free throws. But we were just able to battle it out, have guys that battle it out. Ryan made some huge shots for us, and we were just able to pull it out.
Stay on the right side here, back row.
For Carson, if you could walk us through the inbounds play there at the end of regulation about that, and then were you fouled, and thirdly, what was the pressure like at the line there?
Well, I'll start with, I was fouled. But just through that play, we've drawn that play up and we've ran it before, and the first option wasn't there, so at that point I was just trying to get open and just try to get the ball. The first option wasn't even to me, but being able to get the ball and I felt that I could make the shot, but then he fouled me, so then, I don't know. And then when I got to the free throw line, I've been struggling all game, but being able to hit those last 2, just a blessing, just an opportunity, and stepped up just to get us some more time to play.
Carson, on those last 2 free throws after you missed the first one, was there anything you did differently to, was there anything you did differently mechanically or anything like that?
No, I don't think I did. I just continue to focus. Going into the free throw, I just focus and shoot a free throw every time. I always shoot it, and after that, just did the same thing. Nothing changed.
Stay on the right side here in the back.
Hi, Carson. Jerry Palm with CBS Sports. So how does it feel, or did you even know that now you're the first player to have 4 consecutive 25-point tournament games since Steph Curry?
Oh man, that's pretty dope. I didn't know that. It's just a blessing to be here and just have the opportunity to play at this level, man. To play with a bunch of good guys and a good staff that believes in me. So I'm just happy to be here, man. I just want to continue to play. When it comes down to it, I don't even really care about the points, man. I just want to win. So.
Left side here, front row. It's on.
Carson, there's a famous clip of you staring at your teammate last year and telling him to relax with his side eye. Was there any of that in the huddle when Tennessee was making their comeback tonight?
Nah. I mean, we all kind of understand. It's none of that really. We all were in the huddle saying the same things. I mean, just get stops and we'll be okay. It's a game of runs, so just weather the storm. So that's mainly what it is. I didn't do anything similar to that.
Carson and Ryan, I guess, how big was this for both you guys considering how the last 2 years went here at the Sweet 16?
Ryan first, please.
Yeah, I mean, obviously considering that, we haven't been able to get over that hump per se, but, first time getting back to the Elite Eight since 2000, I heard, and, I'm happy for myself, I'm happy for my guys, I'm happy for Coach Paint, and, it's just something that we definitely worked, really hard, and a lot of people counted us out at the beginning of the year. I just keep preaching that, and, we're just going out and playing free.
Yeah, I mean, I just agree with him, man. I continue to say the same thing over and over again, but it's a blessing to be here. Just have this opportunity to play at this level and compete like this, and I'm just happy to be able to get to the next round, and especially I'm happy for the seniors, especially to be able to get this opportunity. Ryan stepped up, made some big plays, and we were just able to come out with the win. So.
Anything else for the Purdue student athletes? Good deal. Guys, thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, now we'll go to the floor for questions for Coach Painter. Right side here, Coach.
Coach, I know Ryan Klein's career didn't get off to the best start in West Lafayette. To see it kind of come full circle like this with a performance like this that Purdue fans will talk about for a long time, what's it mean to you to see the growth and the maturation from your senior?
Well, obviously, when you get into these moments, especially when you're a jump shooter, it's hard. It's hard to get on the road, play on neutral sites, and sometimes your jump shot doesn't go down. But he's always been a guy, that just helps you win. And if you look at his assist-turnover ratio, you look at the game tonight, he has 4 assists, 0 turnovers. He's just steady. And he's really come a long way on the defensive end and really worked at that. But it's hard sometimes in college basketball about getting into a rotation and staying in a rotation and then becoming a primary player. And he was always a guy that I always talked about as a starter when he didn't start, but then he wouldn't do anything wrong and I'd take him out. Carson Edwards and Dakota Mathias and Raphael Davis. And, we had a lot of, good players with him. And it was simply why I thought, he needed to redshirt his first year, even though we ended up not doing that, is because we just, we felt that he was going to be a really good player. And to be able to do this, and shoot like that, we were up against it tonight. They made that run, and there's that momentum is moving if he doesn't make a couple of those shots. And he stepped up and made some really tough shots, and especially the one, because it seemed like he changed his mind about 4 times while he was dribbling the basketball. And but he got that switch, and he knew the guy sooner or later was going to get off him just because he was a bigger guy, and was able to knock it down. But I'm happy for him. It's what it's all about. Especially you start your career and you make a couple mistakes. The world loves it. When you get things figured out and you make the most out of it, and I think he's done that.
Coach, one left side center aisle here.
Yeah, Coach, your initial thoughts on it, after expending that much energy in the overtime, if it changes anything in how you're going to approach tomorrow and having the guys physically ready for another one?
Right. We'll do the same thing no matter if it was a regular game and you scored in the 50s. And so just trying to get them off their feet. We probably should shoot some free throws. I think that's the genius coming out of me there. But no, it's, no matter who, wins this next game, it's going to be a really good basketball team, but a lot of it I think has to do with not beating yourself. And, you look at the stat sheet on, tonight, and neither team, turned the basketball over. Both teams played hard. They scrapped, and that's what you want. You want to be able to get in games and not beat yourself. And then if you have enough, shot makers, that really helps. But we'll just stay with the regular kind of format and, go through some things, talk about some things, watch film, get ready for our next opponent, but really just focus on ourselves.
Coach, speaking of your next opponent, have you looked at any film on UVA or Oregon, anticipating who may win tonight's match?
I have not. I watch Oregon probably more just because late night, after you get done with everything, And so I watched Oregon play at Washington at the end of the year. I watched Oregon play Washington in the conference tournament. So that's about it. But I've watched them a handful of times throughout the course just because that's kind of when my day gets over. Sometimes those late games, and you're able to watch them. So, in prime time and 7 p.m. and 9 p.m. you normally have Big Ten games, so you always watch them. But then the midnight games are the West Coast games.
Back row, right side.
Hi, Coach. With all of the foul trouble that you guys had today, you had to go and depend on your bench a lot. How productive do you feel your bench was today, and how important was that?
Well, I thought it was great. I thought Travion Williams, and that first time he subbed in was really good. Aaron Wheeler made a couple plays for us, knocked down a couple threes. Eric Hunter's, I think the experience he had in that first game against Old Dominion really helped him. So when Nogel got in that foul trouble, he came in and took care of the basketball and ran our offense and did some really good things. Sasha really didn't get many opportunities to shoot tonight when he was out there, but I thought he did some good things, especially on the defensive end. But those guys are, obviously all freshmen, and it's been great. It's been great to see them grow, and it's been hard for them too, because sometimes I don't play them as much, as they would like. But they've really grown, and when they get their opportunity, they've made the most of it.
Question here in front row, left side.
Matt, talk to us about that overtime and how you were able to rally your guys. Normally we've seen games where if a lead dissipates, the team that loses the lead has a lot of trouble in the OT, but yet your guys seem to have just a little bit of a bounce, got some loose balls, made a couple stops. Just talk about that.
I think it swung and it changed just because they had the momentum, and then we were able to find a way out of it. They had the momentum, they had the game. We're the ones that have the ball, down 2 with 3 seconds to go. And when you're in that position, hey, we can't allow someone to shoot a 3 and beat us right here. And so it's difficult. It's really difficult. But we were able to get out of that, get to overtime, and I think we had that relief. And then, our guys did such a great job of competing in overtime. But you know how it goes. The ball bounced our way a couple times. I thought in regulation there was a couple bounces we didn't get, but it did in overtime. And then they started the foul game pretty early. And so they went after Nogel, I think, with about 1:20. And we were trying to run a play and execute a play there. And so I totally get it. The way everybody shot free throws, I think it made sense to do what they did.
Okay, stay on the right side here, back row.
Matt, Carson was even talking about how much he was struggling shooting a little bit when he got to the line there. After he misses the first, what are you thinking there?
Well, you just, if he's going to miss that second one, then you're going to have to miss the last one on purpose. So that's what I was thinking after he missed the first one. And so then, if he makes the second one, then obviously you're going to try to make that last one. So, you just want a guy to do his routine, but he's shooting free throws, so you don't mess with him. You sometimes talk to guys that struggle, in general. He's an 80% free throw shooter. So even though he missed one, he has to just get set, get back to his routine. Sometimes you get guys up there that, shoot 50% from the line, and you're just trying to help them kind of gather their thoughts and get to the routine and just stick with it.
Anything else for Coach? Teresa over here on the left side.
Teresa Walker with the Associated Press. Him now joining some pretty good company with the 4 straight games with 25 points or more. What does he do that allows him to score that prodigiously at this point in this stage?
Well, I think his ability to drive the basketball and also shoot to 25 feet. He's got a quick release. He's aggressive. So if you get up into him, he's going to drive the basketball. If you give him space, he's going to shoot. Just a dynamic scorer. And he's very confident. He's got a short memory. And so I think that really helps him in situations like this where he can miss 3, 4, 5, 6 shots in a row, and he's going to keep coming back at you and keep getting there. So he's at his best when he has balance. So when he's driving the ball and getting layups, you know, drawing a crowd, passing the basketball, getting to the free throw line, and then he blends his threes in. Sometimes when he gets 3 dominant and just shoots threes, you know, that's not a good recipe. When he gets a little bit of everything, that's when he's at his best.
Okay. All right. Coach, thanks for your time tonight.
Thank you.